Alrighty, and welcome back to NJPW's G1 Tournament, Day 4. Second round for the B block. We're starting off with Yoshihashi, who's on his way out right now. His video just popped up. I'm just doing the... Let me give a little bit of a pause there. Getting a little motor mouth at the moment. I'm just doing the tournament matches for this one. None of the tag matches looked all that exciting, and... you know, just a little bit of a lighter workload for me. Only like an hour and a half to record instead of 2.5, 2.5 hours. Just waiting for, here he comes, Yoshihashi, who managed to beat Kenny Omega in his opening match. Thought he might provide one of the more interesting stories for the tournament, since he's one of the ones in the tournament this year that hasn't really had a whole lot of singles action. At least not since I've been watching. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops as a singles competitor during the tournament. He's going to be going up against Hanma, who I think surprised pretty much everyone by winning his opening match also. So someone here is definitely going 1-1. Someone's going 2-0 in this one. Hanma, absolutely winless 2 years ago in the tournament, had one win in last year's tournament. Came out of the gate on fire this year, beat Shibata, who he had just recently lost to in a bid to take the Never Openweight title. Shibata held the title, retained in that match. Of course, win or lose in the tournament going forward, Hanma will be able to no doubt get a shot at that title again. This is an interesting situation. Hanma, definitely the bigger, stronger of the two. Yoshihashi, no doubt faster, a little bit more maneuverable. I'm going to try to play the strongman game with Hanma. It's not a good idea. New Japan Pro Wrestling is known for what's called strong style wrestling, and it's a real hard-hitting smash mouth stiff style, and Hanma is one of the ones who more or less specializes in the strong style, with some power wrestling mixed in, kind of a cross between the two. Just nailing Hashi there. Nice over Castle. Looking for a quick win. 2. 1 or a 2 count. Couldn't quite tell. And they're being nice and giving us proper camera footage this year. Last year a lot of these were fixed camera, if memory serves. The kind of the in between the big ones. I'm going to go for the Kakeshi, and as always misses the first one. That falling headbutt he calls the Kakeshi headbutt. Whip into the guardrail, barricade, whatever you want to call it. Yoshihashi getting a little dirty here. Hanma, not one to cheat, but you know, start screwing with him on the outside like this, he will oblige and take it to you as well. had kind of a brutal match on the last show, a tag team match. Really went out there and left it all in the ring, even in the tag team match. I'm gonna have to see if maybe that wore him down some. And of course, the match against Shibata was absolutely brutal. Those two, no give whatsoever. That's what the strong style really is all about. It's not so much the moves, it's about that attitude of, I'm going to go out in the ring and beat the crap out of you, and you're going to beat the crap out of me. I know this. We both know this. And one of us is going to lose, but the only way one of us is going to lose is for the other one to make them lose. You know what I mean? Absolutely no give whatsoever. You have to keep them down. Yoshihashi, pretty clever, wise perhaps. He's one of the younger wrestlers. As I said, haven't seen a whole lot of singles competitiveness out of him, singles competition out of him. He's mainly been a backup guy so far. But he is part of the Chaos faction, has some of the biggest names, and has had some of the biggest names in NJPW in it, so he's had damn good teachers. A lot of top talent to learn from. But Hanma is one tough son bitch, so 2. So this definitely could be a little bit, you know, Yoshihashi younger, faster, more maneuverable. Hanma older, more experienced. I don't say certainly tougher and definitely stronger. That's probably a mistake. Hanma is quite a strong man. Gonna try and deadlift him. More or less got him up. Suplex. Very nicely done. Hanma might have something wrong with his shoulder, though. Something that Yoshihashi could take advantage of. He has been using a variation of the butterfly lock of late. Little flurry out of Hanma there. Needs to stay on top of him. Doesn't want to get too cocky here. Bulldog, and misses the second Kakeshi. He pretty much always misses it the first time, often misses it the second. Is probably the greatest flaw in Hanma's armor is that he has a tendency to wipe himself out. He will... Hanma fighting out of the neckbreaker attempt. Hashi off the ropes. Avoids and hits a nice overcastle. Neckbreaker. See what he's gonna go for here. Gets him up. And now he hits the neckbreaker, the float over. 1, 2, short 2 count. Yeah, Hanma, you going for those headbutts, and dedicated to that smash mouth, leave it all in the ring, absolutely nothing walks away with you at the end of the match. Does have a tendency to wipe himself out. Sometimes hurting himself just as much as his opponent. And this time he hits it. Still clutching at his shoulder there. He may have tweaked or pulled a muscle in his shoulder. Gonna go for the driver. Yoshihashi. Memory serves, Yoshihashi actually won the tag team match in the last show with that counter. Hanma escapes that time. And wipe the younger man out. Is he going to go for that driver again and hits him? 1, 2, 2 count only. Long 2 count. Calling for the Kakeshi from the top. Doesn't want to waste time. Yoshihashi moves. Hanma hurts himself. That's exactly what I was talking about. Probably should have followed up the Fire Thunder driver there. Or it's a scoop pile driver. It's known by several names. Should have followed up on that first before going for the headbutt. This is Yoshihashi's opening. But he's still reeling. He needs to get up. He needs to take advantage. Yoshihashi getting up first, but not quickly. Gonna start with the forearms. Is he going to be able to get enough impact in there to really rock Hanma, who is quite used to taking those forearms off of bigger, stronger guys. A nice flipping enziguri there, or twisting or spinning enziguri. Oh, just smacked the crap out of him. Yoshihashi, upward thrusting clothesline, only 2 count. Very reminiscent of Jushin Thunder Liger's palm thrust clothesline. Calling for... Looks like he's going for a power bomb. Hits it. Flips over. 1, 2... Ooh, long 2 count. Yoshihashi getting some good offense in there. Hanma does not want to stay down yet. Is he going to go? No, he's just going for a sleeper. But Hanma getting up. Can't tell if he really has that tight or not. Transitions into a lung blower, I believe it's called. Now it looks like he might be going... There's a variation on a double underhook suplex, transitioning into that lock that he's been using. It's kind of a combination arm head lock, neck lock, or neck wrench, arm lock. Hanma pulling over towards the ropes, trying to get there. Is he going to be able to? This is actually quite a big match for both of these guys. Yoshihashi, first time in the tournament, has a lot to prove here. Hanma, 2 years, 1 victory in the tournament, in G1 tournaments, I should say. Also has a hell of a lot to prove. He came out of the gate strong, got a victory right off the bat. He does not want to end up shoulder breaker, nasty shoulder breaker. Gonna go back for the, looking for a suplex or a slam there. Believe Yoshihashi, this might be a new finisher that he started using. It's like a pump handle into a slam, front slam though. Hanma trying to escape here. He's almost there. Is he going to be able to get out of it? He gets there. Yoshihashi has to break it. A little desperate there. Oh, Hanma just takes a big thrust kick. And Hanma hits a big flying headbutt. nailed Yoshihashi. This could be the point where the toughness, the determination that everyone loves about Hanma seriously comes into play. Reverse driver. Not really sure what the hell to call that. An over-the-shoulder pile driver, I guess. Gonna go for the headbutt. Hits it. Is Hanma gonna get it? Hanma, 1, 2, 3. Hanma gets another win. Alright. This could be Hanma's year, folks. I'd love to see it happen. That's the kind of story you love to see in pro wrestling. But even if he doesn't win, he has already done better in this 1 year than he's done in the last 2. So no one can fault him for anything going forward at this time. But honestly, I would love to see Hanma win the B block. But really, wouldn't that be something, folks? First year, or 2 years ago, the tournament, no wins at all. Last year, 1 win. Wouldn't it be something to see him do a clean sweep this year? That would be phenomenal. Just jotting down the wins there in my notebook that I've got running. Not sure what that exchange was all about. Maybe Hanma saying better luck next time or something. Hanma's usually a pretty class act. He's one of the good ones. Very sportsmanlike unless you get on his bad side. Every now and again somebody will piss him off. Usually because they were being an asshole first, though. People love the warrior spirit of Hanma. That's what Japanese wrestling's all about, is that warrior spirit, and Hanma has it in spades. May not win a whole lot, but he definitely has the warrior spirit. Never say die attitude. Kind of reminds me of Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer lost all the time. People still loved him because he had that never say die attitude. And again, wouldn't that be a hell of a story, folks? If Hanma could manage to do a clean sweep and actually win the B block, maybe the whole damn tournament. That'd be a story worthy of a little movie. Major League. There's only one thing to do now: win the whole fucking thing. Everything is evil. Alright, so now we've got Evil, who's going to be taking on... Let me find my... or bring up my schedule here. Nagata. Yuji Nagata and Evil. Evil coming out strong, beating Michael Elgin in his first match. Nagata, one of the older superstars of NJPW, but no one to be taken lightly by any stretch. Beat Naito in their first match of the tournament. Naito, former world champ, so you know Nagata can still pull out those wins. He knows how to finish a guy off, you know. To finish a match, he knows how to come out with a victory. Something like that. There's a phrase I'm wanting to use, but my brain isn't finding it in the files back there with amongst the cobwebs. So this will be interesting. We've got another situation, two guys coming off a victory, so someone's going to go 1-1, someone's going to go 2-0 here. Blue Justice, Yuji Nagata. Another strong style wrestler. Incorporates a bit of the classic pro wrestling with a strong style. Had a pretty rough match with Naito. Naito just recently lost that world title back to Okada. And Evil right out of the... not even waiting for the belt, not waiting for Nagata to even get his shirt off. Going right out after him, or right after him. Chasing after him to the outside. Nagata right back inside. Fired up. Gonna take a little bit more than that to get the better of the veteran. And he will kick the crap out of you. And then tie your ass up. There's a front headlock there. Doesn't quite have it into a guillotine. Does have an arm. If he could extend the body and get body control, no, Evil's into the ropes. And then Nagata, definitely babyface, but does not take crap off of anyone. He will mess you up if you piss him off, and jumping him like that, I would imagine pissed him off. So yeah, he's none too happy. Evil reverses that. I wasn't too sure about Evil to start with, because the story behind that is a little bit convoluted. I've gone into it once before, but you may have missed that commentary. Digging into the knee with a chair there, probably trying to cause injury. Well, yeah, that sounded stupid. Probably, he's definitely trying to cause injury. Nagata, I believe Naito really focused on the legs when during their match, and Nagata might be suffering from some ill effects there. Nasty lock of the chair around the head into the ring post. He really caught that too. Naito joined the Los Ingobernables group in Mexico, and originally the first member in Japan was supposed to be one of the Mexican members, La Sombra, but he got poached by a certain American company whose name I will not speak. Here in the States, I do live in America, but you know, a company here in the States that I do not speak the name of if I can help it. La Sombra, as I said, got poached by them. So Evil, who was working under his real name in Ring of Honor, came back to NJPW. I'm not sure what the original plans were, obviously. I don't work for them. But I kind of got the feeling when he came in that it was kind of a rush job to fill the spot that La Sombra was supposed to have taken up. I find him to be a little bit hokey with the scythe and all that nonsense, but his ring work is absolutely excellent. He's still a little bit cheesy, but he's kind of warmed up. I've kind of warmed up to him, I guess. And Nagata, absolute classic. You only have to see him in one match to know exactly what school he's coming from and what he's all about. Definitely knows his stuff. Oh, went low, went back to the knee. Last year, Nagata suffered some bruised ribs, I think it was. Really hampered him throughout the entire tournament because it happened in like the first match that he was in. Was never really able to recover from it completely. G1 tournament is a very grueling schedule. 2 count only. And we're talking 20-some dates. Let me get the schedule back up here. I can tell you exactly how many it is. No, I can't, because these are all by date rather than day. Blasts and damnations. I gotta try and shake the pain off. But I believe it is like 20-some days over a period of just under a month. Maybe not quite 20. Because you've got 18... I think it would be not like 19 dates over a period of just under a month, because you've got 9 rounds in each block, and then the final. So it'd be 18 rounds, and then the final. So, still a very grueling schedule. Nice fake out and a drop kick to the leg there. Because you got to keep in mind that even though it's a lighter schedule on the off days, because they're doing tag matches on the off days, they're still in the ring. So at this point, this is a day 4. On here, they've had 3 days in a row at this point. Kick to the arm to block the clothesline attempt. Gets a hold of him for a suplex. It might have been kind of a modified T-bone, I guess. Kind of a cradle T-bone. A little bit of a variant there. So yeah, it's the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. 3 days in a row. Of matches here, and they've got another one tomorrow before they get a couple of days of a break, or a 1-day break actually. 1, 2, long 2 count. Evil likes to use that as a occasional finisher, usually a softening up move, off the shoulder slam, sit out slam. Yeah, the schedule, as I have it, I believe, is they've got another one on the 25th tomorrow, 1 day off, and then another on the 27th. So Nagata getting him down. He likes to use this as a finisher, reverse arm lock. If he rolls up the eyes and you know he's got it cinched in real tight, and there it goes. He's got it in. He's got good positioning. Evil is pretty well away from the ropes, but he is trying to inch his way over. Takes it all the way over into a full arm bar. Evil gets the rope. It's probably better off keeping that as a reverse arm bar. You have better body control that way. When you extend out to the full arm bar, you get more torque, I believe, but they have more ability to move around. Makes it easier to get to the ropes. A bit of a gamble. You're gambling that the damage to the arm is going to be bad enough to get them to tap before they can move into the ropes, but Evil didn't give. Did take an arm breaker right there. Big knee. Looking for the Inoki backdrop, I believe it's called. Innovated by Antonio Inoki, the founder of NJPW. Sizing up for a kick, but blocked. Discus forearm and stiff belly to back. Looking for a clothesline here. Trying to shake the pain off. And hits it. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Calling for a finish. Just a step over. Whoa! Nice exchange right there. Very high angle on that backdrop. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Going for it again. Hits the bridge. 1, 2, 3. Nagata gets the victory. Nagata goes 2-0. Evil falls back to 1-1. Nice showing from Evil. Didn't quite have what it took to put Nagata down. Nagata showing his veterancy there. What's really saved him was that last flurry of strikes that stopped Evil and any momentum he was trying to build up cold. Hitting those 2 really highly impactful backdrops. Evil wasn't able to escape, wasn't able to kick out. Some of the other talent that was poached by that one company kind of has forced some of the veterans like Nagata and Tenzan, who's in A block, and Kojima and Nakanishi, some of the veterans who are still hanging around, and you know, well, that sounds disrespectful. They're not just hanging around, but you know, they're still having damn good matches. They're doing their thing, but maybe we're a bit on the back burner for a while, and then some of the top talent got poached and it's really forced them to come back up to the main stage a little bit more than they were before. And it's been good to see, and they've all been doing really well. Nakanishi, at times, I kind of worry about him. Just as a fan of pro wrestling, I know what's what for the most part, and I worry that he might be pushing himself too hard. But at the same time, all the respect in the world for the fact that they're willing to step their game up in not a time of crisis, but a time of need for the company. Here we have Kenny Omega being accompanied by Takahashi, who, of course, is going to become a factor, and yes, you've got spray, so we know what's going to happen. Thanks for giving it away, Kenny. Most likely what's going to happen. But then he's going to be going up against Toru Yano, who is a habitual cheater and a bit of a cheeky rascal, so you can forgive him. Less forgiving of Kenny Omega am I. Mainly because he has absolutely zero style whatsoever with his cheating. If you're going to cheat, you could at least have a little bit of style. Some. Just a bit. And have it make sense. That would be nice too. Although I suppose in this case, one could make the argument that he did not really cheat at all in his first match and lost. Although he gave as good as he got, just not quite good enough in the end. Toru Yano, being the habitual cheater he is, you could look at it as an insurance policy in this case, but I've never been a fan of the outside interference crap. Never. I started watching pro wrestling in the 90s with that company, who I liked at the time, and the other one, WCW. I don't have a problem naming them, really. And the NWO, and I hate the NWO. I just never could stand them. And not because they were heels. That's one of the things, is that, for me, I don't really go in for that part of pro wrestling. For me, it's all about the ring action, and that's what I actually hated about the NWO. And maybe that was part of their heel stuff, is that they were trying to piss off people like me. Not really the sort of thing that you want to be doing, since that sort of pissing people off tends to lead to changing the channel and not watching anymore. About to kick off here. Toru Yano not having any trouble at all getting under Kenny Omega's skin here. I guess that is part of it, is that there's cheating in pro wrestling that works within the context of a match, and then there's cheating that just kind of interferes in the match. Which sounds kind of weird, but I don't know. I talk about it pretty much every single match Omega's in, and a lot of the other Bullet Club guys, and even Los Ingobernables, who do a lot of the same crap. It's just there's something lacking in the way they do it. Some lack of subtlety, lack of style, a lack of reason, rhyme and reason, a point, I guess. That, and they're just trying too hard to be like the NWO, it seems like a cross between the NWO and DX. Yano actually bigger than Omega here. You see what I mean? That's kind of what makes it okay with Toru Yano. He cheats all the damn time, but he has style. And that can count for so much. Omega getting pissed off here, that could work against him. It's what Toru Yano wants, is to piss him off. piss him off. He's going to make mistakes. Toriano, a master of the sneaky win, and goes right for the turnbuckle pad. Omega avoiding contact there. Not that time. Very lenient rules here in New Japan. Goes for the sneaky win. Only a 2 count. And 1, 2, almost 3 there. And for some reason, Toriano often gets away with shit that nobody else is allowed to do. Mainly because the refs just kind of grin and bear it, I think. And out comes the spray. Too obvious, guys. Come on. Into the eyes. And instead of going in and getting the win, he's going to stand out there and jaw jack and screw with the audience. Yes, it's air. We know what it is. One, two, only 2 count. Couldn't tell if he was raking the eyes or kind of short forearms there. Couldn't tell what the hell he was doing. Maybe raking his eyes with the... Yeah, he's raking eyes and forehead with the pad there. Now raking the eyes across the rope. Gonna see who can be the most dirty here. And scrape with the boots. He does not really want to take Toriano lightly. He can actually go when he needs to. Distraction, Takahashi. No? Well, what do you know? They surprised me and didn't do the obvious thing for once. Omega definitely focusing on the eye region. Maybe trying to further handicap his vision. Though, that's really not going to get you a win. I mean, he doesn't have to see to kick out of a pin. Looking to whip him into the exposed turnbuckle, maybe? And round we go. Kenny Omega eats the turnbuckle. Psych. Haha, knew you were there. Grab the hair, rake of the eyes. Grab the hair. Toriano. Double grab of the hair. And just grabs the hair and slams him down into the mat. Oh, did not see that one coming. And this time Toriano goes into the exposed turnbuckle. Omega gets him up. Great snap off the roll and hits the moonsault. 1, 2, long 2 count. Needs to stop screwing around. Every moment that he's in the ring there, he gives Toriano a chance to pull some little sneaky thing out and go for the win. Looking for his finisher. Yano escapes. Takes some... Looks like Omega got the low blow in. Yano was going for a low blow. Omega got there first. And now he's going to screw around and throw water at Yano. Instead of finishing the match. And takes a low blow. While the ref is distracted by spraying water. As I said, every second that you don't stay on top of him, you're giving Yano a chance to think about what dirty little trick he's going to try to pull next. Trading blows here while holding their crotches. Not sure what Yano was thinking about doing there, but Omega manages to hit a high knee. I think Omega did kick out. Hit another knee. 1, 2, 3. That was very hectic. Try and reassemble what happened. Omega hit the knee. Yano managed to roll him up. Only got a 2 count. Omega hit another knee. Got the 3 count. Yes, that zoom in, that's what we really need to see. Well, that was amusing. Omega picks up his first win. Yano, so far, still 0-2. Alright, let's see what's up next here. Getting the turnbuckle pad back on. Waiting for the next match to kick off. Let's see who it's going to be. I do have my schedule, but I don't know exactly what order they're going to do the matches in. They don't always do it according to the schedule I've got. Although I'm relatively certain the Shibata match is going to be the main event. I could be wrong. And I am, because that's the match that we're getting next. The one that one of the ones I'm definitely looking forward to watching. It's Shibata versus Nakajima from Pro Wrestling Noah, who's coming out first, it looks like. Pro Wrestling Noah started by members of, I believe it was AJPW, All Japan Pro Wrestling. It was, I think, the longest running promotion in Japan, and has suffered a number of kind of defections, I guess you could call them, when management changed and other things happened. One of those occurred and practically everyone left the company, if I'm thinking correctly, and joined Noah. Started up a different promotion. Could be mixing up different events. They've had, as I said, they've had 3 or 4 of these happen. But one of them resulted in the founding of Pro Wrestling Noah, which is affiliated with NJPW. Toriano actually holds the Noah tag team titles with Marufuji, who is a Noah wrestler who is in the A block. Toriano, an NJPW wrestler, though. So they do cross-promotional stuff. Semi-regular basis. Well, perhaps this is a sign that they're going to be doing it more often. As I understand it, this guy's known as the Genius of Kicks. He's a real kick specialist. Haven't really seen a whole lot from him so far because his first match was against Toriano, and as you just saw, Toriano is not a conventional wrestler by any stretch of the imagination, so it's more about avoiding his little tricks when you're in a match with him rather than trying to stick to your standard offensive game. But Shibata here, another heavy user of kicks, strikes, mixed martial arts based style. He did have a short and not all that successful career in mixed martial arts, but he does bring that training with him into pro wrestling. He's a real tough guy kind of wrestler. Wants to be the biggest cock in the yard, biggest rooster, biggest, baddest, toughest guy, and he tries to do anything he can to prove it. As far as I know, he is the never open weight champion, but has not been bringing the belt out with him to these matches. I think a lot of that is just he prefers to prove himself in the ring, and his idea of communicating with you is usually to kick you in the face. I'm sure he's a nice guy out of the ring. I wouldn't want to get in there with him, though. Wouldn't want to piss him off. Looks like he's suffered a bit of a shoulder injury. Start off with, I'm going to see some grappling, kicking. This could go either one of 2 ways. This could be, well, 3 ways. We could see a bit of an MMA style match up here. We could see a bit of a chess game style competition with them really jockeying for position, maneuvering, trying to get that first big strike in, or they could just start beating the crap out of each other. So far, it looks like we're getting a bit more of that chess game. Could be a bit of all 3. Shibata very serious. Nakajima apparently very confident. Has his back. Got a half Nelson. Looking for the full Nelson. He has it. And Nakajima breaks out. Snapmare takeover. Misses the kick. Does not miss that one. No significant impact there. Seeing a little bit of that MMA coming into play. So far, still a bit of that chess match. I kind of have to think that at some point the kicks are going to start landing. At that point, it is going to become a matter of who can beat the crap out of who the best. Shibata might have an edge here in the ground game. I'm not sure about Nakajima's grappling acumen. Shibata looking for a cross arm bar. Gets rolled up. Has the shoulders up though. One of them. That's the important thing. As long as both shoulders aren't on the mat. Ouch. Has the arm, but Nakajima gets to the rope. Definitely seeing some of that MMA coming into play. Shibata maybe deciding he wants to work more of the ground game here. Maybe he doesn't want to get into the striking game with someone who goes by the name Genius of Kicks. Targeting the arm. And it's a nasty looking stomp. About the third person I've seen utilize that particular attack to the arm. Quite nasty. Definitely focusing on the arm. Perhaps doesn't want to test the strength of the legs. Go after a limb that perhaps has a better chance of getting a tap out on. Nakajima, the first one to land one of those stiff kicks, and hits another. Now this is what is going to make this real interesting. Usually it's Shibata doing that to other people. He likes to hit those high kicks. He likes to send people flying off the apron with them. There's a stiff kick right there. How is Shibata going to be able to cope with being the one being on the receiving end of those stiff, hard kicks? Definitely showing some signs of distress on that shoulder there. Knew he was wounded, as it were, because of the wrapping, the support wrapping there. It's like a bullseye that he's drawn on his arm. Quite a bit of velocity on that whip into the guardrail. Now Nakajima going after Shibata's arm, and he, I think, has the advantage in that game, because Shibata was coming into this with some damage already done. And Shibata rolled out of the ring. He's trying to create some space here. He wants some breathing room. And Nakajima smiling, understandably. Shibata in a bit of danger here. We're not used to seeing Shibata like this. He's usually the one doing this to other people, as I said. How is he going to be able to handle this? So far, things started getting out of control. He was trying to play the ground game, the grappling game. Probably has the advantage there. As soon as it started getting into the kicking game, Nakajima took control and has maintained it. Now, Shibata is used to this. He is used to taking these forearms to the head, the chest. Nakajima nailing him down and hits a dropkick in the corner of his own. Again, something we're used to seeing from Shibata. Nakajima going to the midsection though. Shibata likes to target the head. Egging him on. Shibata perhaps I'm not sure what I was going to say there. The things quickly got away from me. Shibata likes to move fast, and sometimes you just have to pause and let him do his thing and just shut up and watch. In my opinion, he has him down. Going to hit a dropkick of his own and hits it right to the head. Very stiff, high impact. Shibata recovered. Recovering, showing that he can take or give as good as he gets. And take it. 1, 2. You can never count Shibata out. He is extremely tough. Looking for an abdominal stretch here. Nakajima perhaps trying to throw him off, maybe just losing balance. Shibata getting a little bit of a breather here, forcing Nakajima to not quite carry all of his weight. There's a lot of torque on the arm and neck. Stiff knee. Leg whip. Not something we see from Shibata, so I was beginning to wonder if these two were basically just the same style, different names. Which you do occasionally come across in any pro wrestling. Two guys working the same basic style in different promotions. Sometimes it's interesting to see them go head to head. Sometimes it can get, you know, it just ends up being like, yeah. This has been good so far. I'm enjoying it. I hope you are. Clap. Damn it. Clap for him. Cheer. Nakajima taking a long time to do whatever it is he's thinking of doing. Real fast up there. Missile drop kick. Shibata deer in the headlights there. Really high backdrop. Shibata pops right back up. Hard belly to back, and they just kicked each other in the face. So, similarities in style, but not carbon copies. That's good. I don't think I've ever seen Shibata come off the top ropes. So, that's definitely a difference. And Nakajima doesn't seem to have a whole lot of ground game, grappling. game from what we've seen so far. I could be wrong there. So definitely some differences. Similar kicking style though. But we don't see Shibata doing stuff like that, so Nakajima more innovative, well, not necessarily innovative, but versatile on those kicks. A little back and forth kickity kick action here. And Nakajima taking him up. Spin kick to the top. And Shibata drops like a brick. Or like a pro wrestler that's just been kicked in the head. Oh! Nasty belly to back into the turnbuckle pad. Landed low. Might have got some whiplash off of that. That's gonna hurt. It isn't gonna be enough to keep Shibata down. That's always the question. Shibata, very tough. And relatively speaking, Shibata has had a much stiffer time the last few days. Had that grueling match against Hanma where he lost. Was pretty brutal in that tag team match. Hanma spent most of the time in the ring on that one, but Shibata did get in there and give out some punishment, took some too. Whereas Nakajima went up against Toriano, pretty light match. He was in that tag match, I believe, and did eat some punishment there, but Shibata catches the leg. This could be a situation where these two guys are constantly being compared to each other. They both probably sick of it if that's true. Could be a case of proving who the better one really is. There's the PK. 2, 3, and Shibata gets it. Taking them both to 1-1. I think in the end, Shibata has had some real wars over that never openweight title over the last few months. He's definitely been in some rough matches. So, could take the look that maybe that's wearing him down, but obviously not. In this case, Nakajima just not quite tough enough to take everything Shibata could put up against him and walk away with a victory. Whereas Shibata has been taking some of the stiffest competition NJPW has to offer for months now, so pretty damn good match though. I'd love to see a rematch. Alright, so we're finishing up the B block on day 4 with Michael Elgin taking on Naito. Another one of the interesting confrontations from this block. Naito and Los Ingobernables mainly been feuding with the Chaos faction, led by current World Heavyweight Champion Okada. Naito took the belt off of Okada for a while. Okada won it back recently. Michael Elgin mainly been feuding along with Tanahashi with Kenny Omega and other members of Bullet Club. So this is pretty much the first time we're going to see Elgin and Naito go head-to-head. Naito coming off a loss. So is Michael Elgin. So we're going to see somebody get their first win here, and someone's going to go 0-2. Here comes Naito, sporting a new mask, nice white suit. Naito likes to take his damn sweet time getting into the ring, getting the suit off. Interesting matchup here, for the reason I already said. Naito coming off that loss to Okada, losing the belt, losing his first match in the tournament as well. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes with Naito. Often acts like he just doesn't give a damn about anything. It's kind of hard to tell where his head's at right now. Michael Elgin sporting 2 belts. Know that he's carrying the NJPW's Intercontinental title. I'm not sure what the other one is. And let's see what's going to happen. Naito in no hurry at all. Collar elbow tie-up. Naito gets flung into the turnbuckle pad. Naito likes to play little mind games with people, but I don't know how well that'll work with Michael Elgin. Likes to try and take people off their game, slow things down. Let him pick his spots. And like I said, I don't really think it's going to work on Michael Elgin too much. Goes low with a kick. Yeah, I don't think he really is going to be bothered about that too much either. Little wreck of the eyes. But Naito gets shoulder blocked and goes down pretty hard. That's not a good idea. Then again, stiff blow right there. I was gonna say, going to the outside with Naito, not a very good idea, but it's had absolutely no answer whatsoever for Michael Elgin's offense so far. Michael Elgin, tough, strong man. Definitely going to have the more impactful offense here in terms of sheer power. Naito going after the leg. He did target the leg in a tag team match. These two were in against each other, on opposing sides. Naito messing around a little bit. Not too good of an idea for him either. And Elgin just picks him up and drops him. What Naito needs to do is stick and move, target that leg, take Elgin's base out from under him so he can't pull off those power moves. If he's trying to play the head games, he's not getting the better of it. Elgin able to have his way for the most part. Gets him up. Suplex. Showing his strength there. 1, 2, only 2 count. And on the reverse side, Elgin needs to avoid letting Naito target that leg and get any momentum built. He needs to stay on top of him, use his power, and just batter Naito till he stays down. Naito hitting the leg, using his speed. Elgin's strength could actually work against him if Naito can really lock in a solid submission hold on the leg. That is one of the drawbacks of having large muscles. They're not as flexible, more susceptible to tears. Naito can lock in a leg lock. Elgin's not going to have the flexibility to really resist it the way a smaller man might. Naito staying focused on that leg. And just kicked at someone in the audience, I think. Okay. Maybe the ring announce crew or something. I'm not sure what he was doing. Sometimes I wonder if Naito even knows what he's doing. Although at the moment I think he knows what he's doing here. He's taking a nice little breather, letting the count out roll out. Elgin's gonna have to struggle to get back in. Makes it. Elgin, power wrestler, 90% of his offense involves picking people up and slamming them back down one way or another. It's hard to do that when you've got a leg out from under you. Naito knows that. But he needs to stop screwing around. It's given Elgin way too much of an opportunity to recover. Hits the drop kick there. 1, 2, only 2 count. Looking for a leg lock here. It's a variation on a figure 4. He's got it cinched in. Elgin, with his upper body strength, will have the advantage in pulling himself around the ring, but Naito is not releasing the hold. And taking advantage of the situation, forcing the ref to break the hold for him, telling the ref that he couldn't break the hold, is locked in too tightly. Elgin starting to get pissed off here. Bit of an adrenaline rush. Might be enough to see him through the rest of the match. Naito getting a bit overconfident, perhaps, but goes right back to the knee. Elgin on one leg. Naito stops him again. And again. Like he was going for maybe a tornado DDT. Not sure. Elgin has a hold of him. Just sends him flying. But pays for it. Elgin trying to shake off the pain. Manages to get some momentum up for the clothesline there. Opposite corner. Gonna do it again. Nope. Right back into the turnbuckle. Clothesline to the back. Got him. Looking for a suplex again. Naito fights out of it. And right back to the knee. Nice enziguri from Elgin. Maybe getting the fabled second wind. Slingshots him up and hits a slam. 1, 2, 2 count only. Elgin can still win this, but he's going to have to hurt himself to do it. Taking a lot of punishment to that leg. But Naito has been more than obliging to screw around. Elgin nailing him with those huge clotheslines to the front and back. Calling for the big one. It gets caught. Atomic drop. Drop kick to the knee. Naito going for the leg lock. Elgin is right next, well, yep, right next to the ropes. Naito not releasing the hold again. Naito with his sweep. Elgin catches him, saw it coming. Roll up. Elgin catching him. Gonna go for the power bomb. Buckle bomb. Naito fights out. Eats the forearms. Going for the discus. Clothesline or punch. Has to resort to that enziguri again to stop Naito. Naito catches him. Tornado, DDT. No, Elgin stops it. Has a hold of him. Cradle. Into a suplex. Keeps it. Another suplex. Won't pop around. And taking him up to the turnbuckle. Maybe looking for that big falcon arrow from the top that he sometimes uses. Naito targeting the leg, trying to fight Elgin off. Naito managing to succeed there. Elgin goes down. Naito looking to come off the top. What's he looking to do here? I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think Elgin was trying to catch him, but Naito still caught him with perhaps a head scissors. I'm not sure what happened. Naito looking for a kind of an arm capture suplex. Perhaps looking for a German. Does not have the strength to take Elgin over. Elgin fights out of it. Naito going for the big forearm. Talking for position. Rolls him up. 1, 2. 2 count only. Naito gets caught. Oh! Death Valley driver into the turnbuckle pad. Bit of a desperation move. Very effective though. Naito landed really hard. Elgin maybe looking to hit something from the top here. Cross body, a splash. It's a big splash from the top. But hurts his leg when he landed. Not able to get the pin immediately. 1, 2. You got to think if he could have kept that pin, that he probably would have gotten the 1, 2, 3. It's that short amount of time that Elgin had to recover from the impact and gave Naito just that little bit of breathing room he needed. Elgin probably looking for his buckle bomb here. Naito does not want to take that. Gets Elgin off his feet. Elgin again with the enziguri, more of a knee strike that time. Naito stopping him. Flurry of strikes. Both men coming off losses here. Neither one wants to go to 0-2. Naito going for a head scissor takeover or Hurricane Rana. Elgin catches him. Huge power bomb from the top. That could be it. 1, 2. 2 count only. Naito not really moving. Elgin still suffering from all those attacks to the leg. Now looking for the buckle bomb. Definitely showing signs of fatigue there, but hits it. Is he gonna get it? Turn around, sit out. Naito gets around, reverses it into a reverse Hurricane Rana. Neither man moving very much at this moment. Both look to be exhausted at this point. Naito starting to get up first. I think this is going to come down to the next big move. Neither one has much left in the gas tank. Naito with a stiff forearm there. And another. Elgin egging him on, telling him to do it again. And another, and another. Elgin fires back, rocks Naito. Not really an exchange Naito wants to get into at this point. Elgin is going to be able to hit harder. Significantly harder. Neither one wanting to give an inch here. Willing to give an inch. And Elgin just flattened Naito. Looking maybe for that power bomb again, but Naito managing to evade there. Nice kick and an enziguri. Looking for his finisher. Elgin catches him. Naito gets the leg. This time Elgin is not that close to the rope. Refusing to tap. Can he break the hold? And it just roll out of it. Naito is locked onto his leg, but Elgin powers him up. Naito manages to reverse it into a reverse DDT. Is that going to be enough to stun Elgin? And there's his finisher. And 1, 2, 3. It took absolutely every last shred of energy and tenacity that Naito had, but he managed to get the 1, 2, 3 over Elgin. Who himself was really only one big move away from finishing off Naito. If he had been able to hit whatever he was thinking of, suplex, maybe a brainbuster or Falcon Arrow out of that reversal on the submission attempt, we'd be seeing Elgin get his hand raised, but Naito was able to sneak out of it with that reverse DDT, which was just enough for him to hit that finisher of his, which is a variation on what I believe is called the sliced bread. And Elgin goes 0 and 2, Naito 1 and 1. Alright, so that wraps up Day 4, G1 Tournament 2016. This has been Ryan Acid Heads Murphy. Don't forget to come check me out. Check out my website, acidbathproductions.biz. You can also find me on YouTube as Acid Heads, ACIDHEDZ. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.